Good evening, everybody. I'm Glenn from Sight and Sound. My colleagues Sam and Carl are with me. We'll be running the event tonight, the webinar tonight for you. We've got 7 people so far. We had 12 signed up, so I'll give it another couple of minutes before we get ourselves going. But welcome. You should have chat box and a Q&A box, which allows you to ask questions or make comments as we go along. So we'll be getting you to use those throughout the session. I'll give it another couple of minutes. We've got 8 so far. Let's just see if we pick up another 1 or 2, and then we'll get ourselves going. Anyway, welcome. Okay, I'll just put a chat in the box, so hopefully you'll see that pop up on the bottom of your screen and you can click in and see the chat. I missed the way out of everyone. Apologies there. My typing is not the best. So we have, we have 11 actually on so far. So I'll give it another minute because I can see it's not quite 6 o'clock yet, and we'll get going. Okay, it's 6 o'clock and it looks like we've got as many people as we've got, but I'm sure people will be able to turn up in the next minute or two and they won't miss too much. So I'm Glenn Tukey from Sight and Sound, and I'm going to facilitate the session tonight and answer chats and questions. And my colleagues Sam and Carl will run the event for you tonight. So we're targeting or focusing on technology for young people with nystagmus. And I'll say at the outset that getting the right assistive technology solution for anybody is very difficult. It's a bespoke exercise, really, fitting technology to people's specific needs. But certainly working with the younger adults and children is the most difficult area. So tonight we're going to take you through some technology that we think is relevant to younger people in terms of being able to handle it, operate it, and for parents to understand it and help their children with it as well. But there's just a tip of the iceberg, and there's so much out there, particularly apps and things like that, that we can't get around it all. But after the event, we'll be very pleased to work with you on a one-on-one basis if you've got any specific needs or requirements that we might be able to help you by, show you some tech, or when we can come face to face, even coming around to see you with it. So we're also going to send out to all the attendees some resource links after the event as well, which may give you some useful tips and information that you may or may not already have. So we'll send that along afterwards with any other information that's requested. So welcome everybody. Pleased to have you with us tonight. And I'm going to hand over to Sam to kick the event off. Sam.
Thanks, Glenn. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming. It's good to be here again for our second session with the Nystagmus network. So yeah, as Glenn said, this session is aimed at young people and parents, and hopefully, yeah, we can find some solutions that you didn't know about, so we can inform you about some of the solutions that are out there, and also some of the ways that the parents can assist the children at home away from school with some of the devices and solutions that we're going to be looking at today. Good. So we'll move on to the first slide. Apologies, everyone. There we go. I'm moving on. Good. So our first port call, the specific areas of interest today for the session. So as this is obviously aimed at younger people, we're going to be looking at educational tools, balance and coordination, font size, style, contrast, scanning text, reducing eye strain, reducing screen glare, reading text in a variety of formats, and some alternatives to magnification as well. Now, when Glenn asked me to put this presentation together, I was very careful to research, obviously, Nystagmus and conditions that can cause Nystagmus, like Albinism, Aniridia. What I've done is I've tried to look at what difficulties that the children may be dealing with because of their condition. I've tried to find some of our solutions that we provide, obviously, that will assist some of these areas. So just a bit of a brief overview of us, Sight and Sound, before we begin. So Sight and Sound have been in business for over 40 years now. In fact, it's our 40-year anniversary just last year. We specialise in assistive technology for the blind, visually impaired, and for people with learning difficulties as well. We offer audits, we offer assessments, and ultimately we design a solution package, if you like, for the individual. Okay, so myself and Carl, for instance, we spend a lot of our time visiting people's homes, listening to their stories and discussing their issues, their difficulties, and we try and find a solution that fully supports and allows them to gain some more independence. So that's a bit about us as a company. The idea of this session, as I've said, we're going to inform you about some solutions. We're going to discuss them. You feel free to leave comments in the chat box or the Q&A. And we're going to explore two different scenarios, and we're going to look at the solutions that may fit those scenarios. We're going to look at some that we feel fit that particular scenario better than maybe others, and that's the idea. We want to try and find the solutions that work the best. But there is no wrong or right answers today. It's very much an open session. Yeah, as we said, we're going to discuss those as a group, and then we can review at the end of each scenario. And also, Carl's going to be giving some live demonstrations of some of the kit as well. Perfect. So this is our first scenario. This is Jake. So Jake's a secondary school student. He's 13, key stage 3. Jake has infantile nystagmus condition, and some of the difficulties that Jake encounters are issues with balance and coordination. He struggles with faces and text from a distance, and he also struggles with differentiating words and basic comprehension when reading textbooks for schoolwork. So bear those difficulties in mind as we go through the following solutions. This just gives you an idea of a simulation of what Jake sees. So this is a Nystagmus simulation slide. Good, and again, we've popped the difficulties up in the top of the slide there, just so you can review them as we look through the solutions. Good, so the first one, we've got the Sunu band. This is a mobility smart band. As you can see, it fits on the wrist there, just like a watch. Okay, and you'll see at the front of the device there, there's a small circular opening there. That's actually a sonar emitter. Okay, so that will emit sonar waves. Okay, and those waves obviously will bounce off anything that they come into contact with. People, objects, anything that they come in, that will then send a wave back to the watch, and it will send a series of vibrations through the watch in order for the user to gauge how near or how far they are away from a particular object. Okay, so this can be also personalized or customized in the settings. You can change it to indoor and outdoor, depending on how congested your surroundings are. It pairs with a smartphone app in order to change the settings. So yeah, so that's a very portable and very handy smart band, Sunu band mobility smart band. Next solution we've got is a portable magnifying glass. We all have seen these before. We all know about these. Very, very common, very popular piece of kit. Limited magnification, but they certainly serve a purpose. Portable, lightweight, and affordable as well. You know, you can pick one of these up for around £20. Next, we've got the Orcam MyEye. Now, this solution is a wearable text-to-speech device. So this will fit onto the side of your frames of lenses. This will scan a page of text. It can scan anything up to a piece of A4 text there, and it will scan the text and it will read it aloud for you. And the audio will come through a tiny speaker at the back of the unit. Okay, so just in front of the ear, and you'll be able to hear the text read aloud for you. It also has other features like facial recognition, for instance. So you can actually store up to 1,000 faces into the Orcam. So for instance, if it was your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, you could store their face in the system, and it would tell you whenever they come in front of the Orcam there, it would say their name out loud for you. Anybody that you've not stored in the system, it would say something like there is a person in front of you, etc. So that's the Orcam MyEye. Next up, we have a desktop video magnifier. So this is a very heavy duty magnification device. So it will sit on your desktop, on your kitchen table, for instance. And it's got a camera underneath the monitor there that allows you to place text underneath. And then you can magnify it up to 30 times. And you can also change the contrast, for instance. You can, you can obviously increase and decrease the magnification. And it's also got an XY table there, which you can see. You can move the text around by using the XY table. And then the final solution for this scenario is the C Pen reader pen. So this is again another handheld device, as you can see there. This essentially is another text-to-speech device. It requires the user to scan a page of printed text, or a line of printed text, sorry, and it will then read it out loud for you. You can also do a number of things with this product, and Carl will now, I'll hand over to Carl, and he's going to actually demonstrate the C Pen for you. So I'll hand over to Carl.
Good evening. I'll just spotlight my video. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. That's in the full screen now. As you can see with the C Pen, it really is a small, tiny little compact piece of equipment. You have at the end a micro USB charger and a headphone socket. So obviously there is a voice relay on here. With the in the options menu, there is obviously it all reads back to you as well. So you have a text reader and the settings. So you can sit there, you can use this as a standard text reader. So swipe across the text. I'll show you that now. So all you do with this is you place it down. As you put it down, you can see the light comes on. So it tells you, gives you the notification that it's recording. And as you can see then, it's basically just scanned the text. I'll do another line. And all it's doing there is you're scanning line by line, and it has the ability to read. With this also though, you can, if you've missed a word, you can go back. You can go back to the beginning of the sentence. You can, it has quite a lot of controls with a lot of different things going into the dictionary. You can sit there, run it over words. So you can scan it over a certain word and it'll read the dictionary back. As I mentioned there, you've got a scan to file option as well, so you can scan this directly actually into a system and have all the words and everything saved. Even a voice recorder, which comes in really handy. Literally use it as a mini dictaphone. And then the settings menu, you have a choice of English, French, Spanish as standard on there. I do believe you can buy them in other languages if you so wish. And then the ability to change the reading on, so you can turn it off so it doesn't read. Speed, obviously change the speed of the voice, and then the volume. So you have quite a lot of different variations on there and things to do in quite a clever piece of equipment.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks, Carl. Okay. So reshare. Perfect. So there we have the 5 solutions there that you've got to think about. And again, they've got the difficulties up at the top of the screen there, which we've discussed already. We've got the issues with depth perception, balance, coordination, issues with printed and handwritten text, difficult to read, and issues with differentiating text on the page, comprehension, absorbing the text from a page. So we need to try and pair some of these devices to those difficulties.
So yeah, so we want you to look at the different candidates we've had. They could all work to some degree with a youngster with nystagmus. We'd like you to pop your thoughts into the chat box. Go in and type what sort of devices you think might work with maybe your own young people. And we think some work slightly better than others. And we'll get to the other end and we'll discuss them and move on. So anybody any thoughts? So you've got a chat box at the bottom of your screen. You can go in and just type anything you think that might work. The magnifying glass is an interesting one just to add on while you're thinking. With young people, of course, it's quite key not to have something that's too heavy on their wrists because of the handle and the weight of the lens itself. So often we look with young people for the magnifying blocks which just sit flat on the page rather than actually holding a magnifying glass, having to move it up and down. Because again, young children often want to use both hands to do whatever it is they're doing, often a lot of handiwork or a lot of tactile work. So there are magnifying blocks which are not really magnifying glasses with hands, and they're also perhaps good solutions there as well. Got a question in here, does the C-Pen reader support Italian? Not quite sure on that. Carl, do you know? If not, we'll go away and find out the answer while we are.
I'm pretty sure it's a worldwide used product.
I'll check whether it supports, Antonio, I'll check whether it supports Italian for you. Another question is, can it scan handwriting? No, nothing on the market will scan actual handwriting. It has to be printed text. And it'll scan basically a line at a time, won't it, Carl, the C-Pen?
Yeah. Doesn't matter how long the line is either.
You can scan a line, you can then move on to one line, then another line, and build it up as you go along. Is that right, Carl?
Yes. Yeah. And then if you could literally scan a page, if you had the patience, then just go back to the beginning of the text and actually have it read the full page to you.
And also, Ruth, a child knows it's been scanned. Basically, when they stop drawing it over the text, it's collected everything they've run the device over. So there's no indication that you've got it and it's recorded it. It records it as you pull it across the paper. As soon as you pick it up, it's then going to work with the text and it's scanned. So it doesn't need any control. It's really just point and shoot as a device. Yeah, just so I'll pick up while you guys are thinking, because you're asking questions as well. So we might as well pick those up as we're going along. Jane's son is in reception, he's nearly 5. What age do you introduce such technologies? As soon as they can put them into their hand, and often with parental support, then we will introduce them. What we will often do is bring the devices or send them out to you to try in your own homes. in the areas where you need them, or even in the schools. So you don't have to buy it and purchase it before you work out whether it's okay. We'd come along and try it. If it works, then it's something you might use. If it doesn't work, then you don't purchase it, because it really is one thing that will work for one child, particularly if 5, 6, 7, may not work for somebody else. Yeah, the OrCam. I don't think a 3-year-old Lisa will probably be able to use an OrCam, but you know, by 5 or 6, it works with very simple gestures by just touching the device, and it'll start the reading. In fact, it'll automatically recognize faces. You don't have to do anything. As long as you're wearing it on the side of a pair of glasses, it will actually see a face. If it's been scanned in to know the name, it will say the name. So if you could wear it on a separate pair of glasses, then it could be used. 3 feels a little bit young, but certainly 5 or 6 or 7 you could. It's an expensive device though, £3,500 for the OrCam with facial recognition in it. So I think we picked up, what distance does the OrCam work for facial recognition? Carl, you're a user of that. What do you?
It's within 15 feet. So when you get within 15 feet, it'll read the name out. Or if you're in a room, you can literally just press the side of the button. It will scan for people it knows and it will call their name out.
Does it come with a guarantee? Yes, everything comes with a 1 or 2 year warranty, depending on the manufacturer, but everything comes with a guarantee. Okay, Sam, move on, and let's see what devices you felt might work best in this situation. But of course, as we've discussed already, most of these will do something. It's whether they do them as well as you need or not. Sam.
Okay, great. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, thanks everyone for your input. So here are the solutions that we feel would suit Jake best. I'm just waiting for my computer to recalibrate. There we go, perfect. So here we go. So no surprises really with the first one. So we've got the Sunu band as a first advice solution for Jake. So as I said earlier, that the Sunu band, this is the only smart band that can guide you around obstacles. Okay, using the sonar technology there. So the echolocation or the sonar technology, it detects objects up to 16 feet or 5.5 meters away. Yeah, so the Sunu band uses, it augments awareness of the user's personal space. Okay, so this can reduce accidents, and ultimately it can improve a child's confidence while providing a more fluid and enjoyable mobility. So the Sonar Sensor, as I said, this will guide you around obstacles so you can walk with confidence. You can also do things like you can tell the time using a series of vibrations. And it has a whole number of different features via the app, which you compare to a phone now. And again, relatively affordable at £240. So in comparison to the MyEye, which we're going to look at in a second, it's a relatively affordable device. So we've gone with the Sunu band to begin with. Secondly, we've gone for the OrCam. Now Jake is 13, he's secondary school. You know, we felt that the OrCam, you know, for somebody of Jake's age would be more appropriate. As it's just been said, a child around 3, we wouldn't probably recommend the OrCam yet, but it's certainly something to think about in the future. The OrCam, as it said, it will do facial recognition from 15 feet, as Carl said. It will scan and read printed text. It's portable, you know, and relatively easy to use. You know, it requires the user to either tap the side of the OrCam, or you can actually use gesture by pointing to the text, and it will actually pick up the tip of your fingernail and it will scan the text on the page. Okay, so we felt this would be perfect for somebody like Jake. And then
you can also tell the time. You can also tell the time with the OrCam as well. Yeah. If you hold your hand up as if you were looking at a watch in front of your face, like I am here, then it will also tell you the time. It's got some clever little side features in it.
Absolutely, yeah. And other features include product and barcode recognition, colour, banknote recognition, all those things it can cover. So hence, I think why they justify the price of £3,500 for the Orcan. And then thirdly, we have the C Pen, reader pen. Now this is, you know, a great little device for any student with low vision or with a learning difficulty. So the reader pen there, it's a digital text-to-speech device, and it's instant, as Carl demonstrated as well. So this would allow Jake to feel more confident with his basic reading, spelling, and comprehension exercises in class and at home. This is something he can use at school and at home. So this is also, the reader pen would allow Jake to store files in the pen and send them to his computer, as we've discussed, make audio notes, for instance. And it's got 3 dictionaries in there as well. So it's perfect for any student with low vision. But again, as it's been discussed, every condition is you know, it's personal to the individual, isn't it? So the CPA may not work for everybody, but it's certainly something that we feel will be suitable for Jake. And the 2 that we felt maybe weren't appropriate in this scenario was the desktop video magnifier there. This is a really heavy duty magnifier for somebody like Jake, who, you know, his parents may want to invest in a solution that he can use at home and at school. The desktop video magnifier obviously isn't a portable solution. This is something that you would just sit at home or at school if the school wanted to invest in one. So we felt the other 3 were more suitable. And then obviously the portable magnifying glass, as I said earlier, absolutely serves a purpose. It's affordable. However, the magnification levels aren't great, and there are sort of better and more advanced piece of technology out there. For instance, if you did want a digital magnifier, for instance, a handheld digital magnifier, you know, those are available, and that's something that we're going to actually look at in our next scenario. So there you go. So those are the solutions that we've looked at for Jake. Okay, so if you're happy to move on, Glenn.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So next up, we've got Holly. Okay, so this is Holly. She's a 7-year-old primary school student, Key Stage 1. And Holly's condition is ocular albinism and nystagmus. Okay. Now, Holly's difficulties include reading handwritten notes and instructions from a teacher in class. Holly also has social anxiety around other students, and also Holly has issues with drawing diagrams for lessons such as maths and geography, so graphs, maps, charts, that sort of thing. So we all know the score by now. I'm just going to show you a simulation of what somebody with albinism may or may not see. So this is what somebody who has regular vision can see, and then the albinism simulation. So you can see a lot of light sensitivity there as well. Just gives you a general overview. Great. So the same again. We've got Holly's difficulties at the top there, and our first solution. So this is the TactiPad drawing board. So something quite unusual, something that you know, you may think, oh, is this something that's suitable for somebody with albinism or nystagmus? Quite often, actually, these products are used for somebody with absolutely no vision, so somebody that's completely blind. This is a way of sort of getting children engaged with drawing in a tactile manner, so they can actually create their own drawing on the board. And how it works is, when the child does draw on the board there, it actually creates an embossed line or an embossed image that the child can then run their hands across on the page, and they can really get a sense of achievement, feeling what they have created. So it's quite a creative little device. No technology involved at all, no electronics. It's very much a standalone, just a very creative little drawing device. It does come with a series of tools, which I'm going to show you now. So if I just stop my screen share for a second, I'm going to change my camera. Okay, so this is the TactiPad. So this is it. You can see the size and the scale of it. Okay, I've already embossed some lines on the page there, and you obviously won't be able to see the the quality of the embossing from the camera there. But I can assure you it's very, very, very tactile. You know, there's no denying that there's a stable line on there. How it works is the TactiPad opens just like this, and you can see here there's a piece of German film, which is what is embossed. Okay, so that fits underneath this frame. You slot that down, and then we're ready to go. And it comes with a series of tools. Okay, so you're given a ruler, which you can actually attach to the sort of the screws, or these sort of little tactile buttons on the side. They actually unscrew, so you can attach the tools such as the ruler. It comes with a compass as well, for instance. So this is a magnetic compass. Okay, so it sits on the TactiPad just like this. And what I can do is I can actually emboss a line across the TactiPad. You can see there it's embossed it very clearly. So it's perfect for creating you know, drawings or charts and graphs, for instance, for lessons. There is a number of tools that it comes with. You've got a protractor, for instance, and other drawing tools. Additional tools, for instance, you've got a graph grid. So this will actually attach to the drawing board, and the elastic bangs will obviously allow the student to draw lines more neatly, or to guide themselves around the page more efficiently. Okay, so that is it in a nutshell. This is the TactiPad. Okay, a very sort of neat little drawing device, and no electronics in sight. I'm just going to reshare my screen with you all. Perfect. So that's the TactiPad, and then next up we have a portable video magnifier. Again, I discussed this a second ago, and Carl's going to demonstrate this for us in a second. This is a little handheld portable device, digital, comes with a number of contrasts and other features. Now this is another interesting one. This is a Synaptic Tablet. Okay, so this is a regular tablet, as me and you, as we all know. This isn't an iPad. This is an Android tablet, and there's a piece of software on there called the Synaptic software, and this allows the tablet to be enhanced for somebody with a visual impairment. So all the colours, the contrasts, and most importantly, everything will be read out loud for the user. Okay, so there's a full screen reader on there as well, amongst other things. Next, we've got the laptop and Zoomtext software. Okay, this is quite a popular solution for students. Obviously, it's a regular laptop that we all know about, but on there's a piece of software called Zoomtext, which, in essence, it magnifies and it enhances the screen, which can be customized for the user. So you can customize the magnification, the contrast, the colors, the mouse pointer, the cursors, everything you can think of, you can customize. And there is also a basic screen reader as part of the software as well, if you wish. And then finally, we've got another digital magnifier, but this one does both magnification and speech. Okay, so it's a double sort of multi-purpose solution, if you like. And Carl is now going to demonstrate 3 of those solutions for you. So I'll stop my screen share again.
Let me just spotlight this one. Okay, so what we've got here is this is called the Ruby XL HD. This is the middle size of the Ruby family. So as you can see here, you've got the blue, yellow buttons plus and minus. There is a little, I'm not sure how close you can see on there. There is a little protruding dot to give you a reference of what you're touching. So that'll obviously increase and decrease full magnification. The blue and white arrows on the left-hand side, they give you the chance to scroll through 23 different contrast colors. Now, obviously, you're going to get a bit of glare back from this with the camera trying to look onto a HD screen, but hopefully it gives you enough idea of what it does. When you're also on this text, you have the ability to put an underline out. So now I can follow the text across the page with the underline. I can also place a mask and turn it off at the same time. So at that point, I will actually just move on to a slightly larger brother. This is the Ruby 7. As you can see now, with the size of it, if I put this one in first, and you can see the size where my hand's across it now. Now you can see that we've gone up to its slightly larger brother. This has all the same functionality as the smaller one. The difference with this one is, as you can see on the side, it has a full-size HDMI port. Now that HDMI port, I can connect that into any HDMI TV or monitor, and all of a sudden I've gone from a 7-inch small screen to however big the monitor is that I'm actually trying to connect it to. As with the other one, it has all the same functions. You've got your masking. You can change the levels of the mask that you want. You can change your magnification levels. It's exactly the same. Now I'll just quickly bring in the little baby of the family. This is the 4.3. This is probably one of the most popular handheld video magnifiers there is on the market. All the same functions of the other one. Reading stand underneath, so you can actually place it flat on the table, as you can see there, and move along the text. The difference with this one is, as very similar to the standard Sherlock magnifier, as I call them, this also has a handle, so you can use it as a standard magnifying glass as well. Clever little bit of kit, even with the ability to kind of put something in behind on its little stand. If they're looking at jigsaw pieces to fit into a jigsaw or something, it'll give you the opportunity to do that. We'll just move on. We'll just do the magnifier part first, and then we'll move on to the, we'll have to get back a little bit for this one. It's a little bit larger. As you can see now with the size of this screen, this is the 10-inch, Octalec 10-inch. Now, the ability with this one is very similar to what kids will be using nowadays with laptops, with tablets. As you can see with my fingers there, I'm clicking and dragging exactly the same way as what children will be doing. You've got all your colour contrasts, everything else on there, but something a little bit different which you don't get on the rest is, as you can see from the top, I'm just going to lift a little camera arm up. What that will do now is give me the option, if I can get it over the page, so I'm trying to look at one camera whilst working another one. So now you can see I've got that text document under there. I can zoom in on it a little bit, but one of the best features of this one is, if I just press that little button there, you heard it take a picture. What it's hopefully going to do for us now is process that image into the system. I've just looked at the image on the screen and I have a strange feeling I might have nudged it.
Non-disclosure agreement. Disclosed in order to develop or use that products or process. 5. Reservation of acknowledgement.
Right, as you can hear from there, that's basically taking a picture of that. From that point, you can zoom in. You have full control of the screen. I'm trying to get that out of my spotlight, that's it. You have full control over the screen while you're doing it. Click a button.
Claim 1 or confidential information shall remain the property of the disclosing party, each party.
You have full control over speech rates, colour contrast, magnification levels, everything on that one. So it is probably one of the best, if not the best, magnifier at the moment in its field. And with its other ability as well is I can take a natural still of that image now. So you'll hear the camera go again. Getting a bit of a glare back again. But from that point now, I've captured that. That is a lot of glare. That just shows you how. There we go. So from that point now, I can control it. But the brilliant part is, I actually have the whole A4 document captured underneath that image. So I can scroll back and forwards between the whole document. Right, that's the Compact 10. Arm folds away, as with all the other magnifiers. It folds flat. This one fits into a beautiful little leather case, so it's absolutely brilliant. Now we'll just move on. This is, as Sam mentioned, the Synaptic Tablet. Now these menus can be changed, and you can remove stuff, add stuff to them that may be more appropriate to what your child or whoever it is what they're using. As you can see here,
Skype, email, WhatsApp, address, main menu, page 2 of 5.
It will scroll through. It's easy to do.
Calendar, alarm clock, voice memo, note, main menu, page.
As soon as you click through stuff, I mean,
social media,
you have all your standard social media on here. So obviously for the older of the children, you've got your social media. You can also go into entertainment. They can use it as as a your music player, so you can play all your MP3 files. You can log into your Amazon account on here, your Spotify. You can have them all. You can go straight into YouTube. And then what I'm going to show you here quickly is, if I can just get the camera up to the top, there's a little mic option there. I'm just going to click that for a second.
Press speak button at bottom of screen, then start speaking.
As it told you, cuddly dogs.
Cuddly dogs.
There you go.
No speak. Please
I click search. Hopefully I've remembered to connect it to my internet. But saying that, my internet is running exceptionally slow at present. With 4 children in the house, trust me, I don't get a lot of bandwidth by the time they're all streaming, gosh knows whatever they all watch. Yeah, there you go. It does, and it has done all day, gone straight through to what it's supposed to do. But as you can see here, look, with as I say with BBC iPlayer, you can go in, search for whatever you want that's on the BBC. Everything's in there. It's a clever thing.
Please type in your search words. Speech recognition.
West Brom.
West Brom.
I'm starting to think that I may have not actually. Oh, there we go.
Search page 1 of 3.
So we're now looking at the best football club in the world.
Loading. Please wait.
All it'll do here. Oh,
Please wait. Please wait.
there we go. And as soon as it comes up, what it does is, because it's flipping between the Synaptic app and the standard web browser, you have to give it enough time to actually catch itself. There is a lot of glare back. In here, anyway, it's giving you a basic idea of exactly what the Synaptic Tablet will do. And to be fair, it's not much dearer than the cost of a standard tablet.
Yeah, can you just go through the prices of all the things you show in the Ruby range, the Optilec, and the thing? Because
so at the moment, with the little baby one, so the Ruby 4.3, this is on our 40th anniversary pricing at the moment, so it's an absolute bargain at £299. This normally RRPs for around £499, so you will realise that it is a really good price. And the next one up, the Ruby 5.0 is £399, and I think the bargain in the range definitely in the minute is the big one. The 7-inch is coming in at £499. Then there's 2 variations of the Compact 10. You have one without speech that RRP is at £995, and this one with speech, which is £1495. The Synaptic Tablet, I think there's different variations. There's different models. You go from a bronze all the way up to a gold model, and I think that ranges from £389 all the way up to about £690. The dearest one is obviously the top of the range tablet that the software will be installed on.
610, Carl, for the gold tablet.
Is it
610?
610. There you go.
440 for the silver tablet. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, there's a good variety, and these they used to come in a 7-inch. But what you could do, if the child actually or whoever it is wanted something smaller, they also do a mobile phone variant as well, so you can get that on a big Samsung mobile phone. So it's very clever what they do.
Great.
Thanks, Carl.
Great, thank you, Carl. I'll reshare my screen for everyone. Perfect. Okay, so if you're happy to, we can move on to the what we thought were the advised solutions.
So yeah, before we do, I mean, this, I don't know what you guys think out there listening, which ones might be most suitable in this environment. As we say, all of them can do some form of job. It's which ones do it best. So we'll give you 30 seconds if you want to put up on the screen in the chat box what you think Sam might be revealing as his top picks, and then we'll just move on and work through them.
Great. It's also just worth mentioning as well, while everyone's having a think, just about the Synaptic Tablet again there. So the Synaptic software can be purchased without the tablet. If you already have an existing Android tablet, you don't have to purchase the tablet itself as well. You can just purchase the software on its own and pop it onto your existing tablet.
Good. Okay, Sam.
Yeah.
Tell us what you thought.
Great. Okay, so there we go then. So these are advised solutions for Holly. So as we just looked at it, we'll start with it. So the Synaptic Tablet, and the reason that I've added that into this scenario is that through my research of looking into children with albinism and nystagmus, I found that quite often young children may suffer with social anxiety, feeling different at school around their peers and other students, and we also know that we interact a lot with schools, and that tablets, as Carl mentioned, are heavily used now within education. And if Holly was able to use a tablet, a more accessible tablet, this may allow her to feel more sort of on the same level, and sort of included, if you like, within the classroom. So the Synaptic Tablet will absolutely allow Holly to carry out all of the activities and functions that all the other students will be doing on a regular tablet. But this obviously should be able to do that in a much more accessible way. So some of these solutions, they're not just about helping you with your visual impairment. Everything that comes with that, the sort of the effects of having a visual impairment, effects on the mental health, for instance, on anxiety, that sort of thing. So we very much try to find a solution that can impact every aspect of your life. So yeah, we've gone for the Synaptic Tablet first and foremost, which Carl demonstrated really well there for you. Secondly, the TactiPad drawing board. This is a really useful little solution, and as I said, it's it's very simple, very straightforward. £295 as well for the drawing board there, and it comes with all of those tools that you can see. This is often used for, as I said, for blind people with no vision at all. But however, for Key Stage 1 students like Holly, this would be a really good way of introducing tactile drawings. It's a way of engaging them in the classroom as well. If they can't use a protractor and compass and ruler and very small graph paper, being able to do that in a much more tactile and much more sort of magnified way would be really useful. And this can be just used as a bit of fun as well. It doesn't have to just be an educational tool. This can be used just for doodling, drawing. So this is a really good way of engaging a young student, young child, with that sort of thing. And then lastly, obviously the Compact 10, which we've gone for there. Again, it has a tablet feel to it. You've got the pinch techniques that young children. I know that my 7-year-old stepdaughter is glued quite often to her tablet, and she already knows exactly how to use it. And the Compact 10 allows that as well, allows that functionality. But it's got the magnification there. It's got the text to speech if you need it. And again, it's portable. It can be used in the classroom. You can pop headphones in there to be a little bit more discreet. So again, and it's also a device that would be a good foundation for a Key Stage 1 student if they then wanted to graduate onto something like the laptop with Zoomtext software, which we can talk about now. This may be suitable for a student that's slightly older, perhaps, that's maybe going into secondary school and beyond. Again, the Zoomtext software is fairly straightforward. However, for somebody of Holly's age, they may struggle with some of its features and operations. So for that reason, we felt it might not be appropriate in this scenario. And then the portable video magnifier there, absolutely nothing wrong with the solution. really useful, really portable. You know, however, you know, the magnification levels there may not be suitable or strong enough for Holly, and the other solutions there we felt just fitted this scenario better, and the difficulties that Holly faces.
Before you move on, guys, Ruth asked, what would you advise for distance reading for the board at school? We have a couple of distance cameras, don't we? Including actually a fairly simple one in the Ruby 7 that you've got in front of you there, Carl. But there's other distance options as well, yeah?
Yeah, the Ruby 7 obviously, yeah, does have the ability for long distance, but I think you can get the camera on the, is it the Mercury?
There's the Mercury, there's a transformer, I would be probably suggesting, as a distance camera.
Yeah,
I think it does depend on what they're looking for, what solution. All in one, I guess the Mercury has it all, because there's a camera attachment and you've got a Windows 10 Surface Pro to actually be used as the unit. So there's an all-round solution. And
well, the transform, yes, that's one all computer with a distance camera in it as well. The transformer has a long distance view and a near view, and can also be plugged in to a computer as well and read the screen back to you. And there's a couple of devices we've got with very good long distance cameras, the Onyx as well. So, Ruth, there are a few other solutions out there in the marketplace that are portable and can be used at a desk in the school. In fact, some of the cameras are so powerful, the child can sit at the back of the class and not be forced to sit at the front, as long as they've got a good screen, a good view up to the board. Again, we'd be very happy to show those and send you information outside of this on those as well. But yes, there are long distance solutions for use in class that are portable, can be moved between classrooms and plugged into a computer or used standalone.
Just while we're on that point, Glenn, actually, it's worth plugging. I'm actually, I have a webinar scheduled in a couple of weeks' time, specifically for this this area, long distance and near view magnification within the classroom. This particular webinar is just for teachers. However, the webinars are recorded, and we can pass the recording on to you after the session for you to have a look at.
So, Ruth, we've got your email address, and anybody else who wants it, we'll pop that long distance. Actually, why don't we just pop it on to all of you and send you a link to that session when we've done it in a couple of weeks, and you can watch it in your own time a little bit later on. That'll give you some add-on to what I've just said there.
Great.
Okay, Sam?
Thanks, Glenn. So, yeah, so that's the Holly scenario that we've looked at, and then this just gives you another overview of the scenarios that we've looked at today. Both very different, both very different issues, conditions, and both, you know, different levels and stages of their education. Now, for students that are looking at higher education as well, so college, university. Now, there is something called the Disabled Students Allowance available, which Carl is going to talk to you briefly about now. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you. I forgot about that part. Yeah, so basically, the DSA allowance, do you guys, have any of you heard of what the DSA is? Obviously, if you've got children that are young now, there may be in the near and distant future, or not so near and distant future, that they want to go into higher education. Now, the DSA will only fund in higher education, which is pretty weird if your child's going to further education, so college or anything, you've got no chance of the extra funding. But basically what it is your student goes through a full assessment. They get assessed by a fully official DSA assessor. They run a report, do everything, spend a couple of hours going through with the child, making sure that everything that they supply the child is the correct and right thing. Then basically it goes off for funding. SFE, Student Finance England, they then approve all the funding for the student. The student then comes, has a quote prepared via the assessor. goes out to a multitude of different companies. One of them is us. We then can send a quote back with recommended products on there. Then within 10 days, everyone's got to have everything in place and sorted. So basically, the student starts off with about £6,000 of equipment funding. Then with regards to note takers in lectures, everything else that's in and around the outside of a lecture hall, they can get up to £20,000 of funding to help them go through and complete their however long the course is. And that's only per course as well. If the student then goes and does another course, they're entitled to exactly the same funding all over again, and they can keep resitting. I've got a friend I know, a blind girl. She's on her 5th degree, I think. I did actually say to her, "You never want to work, do you?" And she kind of nodded and said no. So, but she's also the most intelligent person I've ever met. But I guess she is. She's done 5 degrees now. So yeah, it's pretty much what will happen.
Thanks, Carl. Sam.
Thank you, Carl. Yeah. So that gives you an idea about DSA. Again, this is just a quick overview of all the solutions we've looked at today. So, and this really does just scratch the surface. We've looked at what's 9, 12 devices there, something like that. There is a whole range of portfolio out there that we provide that may be suitable as well. The idea of this session, as I said, is just to really sort of introduce some solutions that you might not have heard of. To sort of and to hopefully get you interested in what other technology solutions are available as well. Good. And just coming towards the end now, we've got a few resources for you to go away and have a think about. Obviously, our website. Also, it's worth knowing about our specialist assistive technology advisors that we have. So, like myself and Carl, for instance, who go and give our assessments of individuals. We've got a technical support team as well who offer training and lifetime technical support as well. If you were to purchase any of our products. And we also have an app at the top there, which Carl is again going to give you a bit more information about. I'll stop my screen share now, Carl.
Thanks. A second. I need to switch that camera. Nobody wanted to see my head in full size on that.
There we go.
Right.
Thank you.
So basically, what we have here, there is an app. It is called What AT. You can scroll on here. It will give you a full list of recognised eye conditions. So if we go down, there we go. If you can see there's a Nystagmus link there. Basically, what that does is that gives us a good few paragraphs on the background of the eye condition, because obviously there are a lot of different eye conditions and we don't necessarily know everything about them all. So what you've got there is you've got, like I say, the information at the bottom. What it's also doing is giving you a list of products that we recommend. I do apologise for that blurriness, but it's basically because I'm trying to show it by my mobile and I keep moving. So hopefully you've got the general idea. Basically, this is a free app anyway, so it's called What AT. So on an Android system, it's What AT Pro, all one word, WHATATPRO. And on an iOS, it's What AT, so just WHATAT. Free app. Feel free to download it and have a look at it. It's a really good bit of kit, and it can help a lot of people just to give you a rough idea of what's available. It is going to be going through a facelift hopefully soon. We've just got to get Glenn to get that sorted, and we'll hopefully be getting a slightly new look.
Thank you very much. Sam, anything else you wanted to pick up there?
No, just to mention at the bottom there as well, obviously there's a few other resources available. We've got, as you can imagine, because of the current situation, we have a lot of online resources and material happening at the moment, webinars, podcasts. So please do stay close to our social media channels, our YouTube channel. We're putting all of our recorded webinar content on there for you to use, in the future. Yeah, and if also if you want to be involved in any of these webinars, we can add you to various mailing lists as well. And then lastly, all there is left to say is thank you, and I can hand back over to Glenn.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Ruth has asked if we can share the slides. The slides are actually too big to email, but what we can do is we put the whole webinar up onto the Sight and Sound YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and type in Sight and Sound Technology, you'll pick up our channel. This will be this recording will be up on there for you to look at, along with a whole host of other 5-minute coffee cup type videos and podcasts around a whole range of different technology. So some other of the technologies we've been haven't talked about here will also be on there. And I would suggest you go there as well. We're also going to send out to your email addresses some other resources, some links for you to go to as well. So you should be able to get the slides off of the recording and also some links. And we're going to send you a recording of our distance viewer to all of you, a link to the recording when that's up as well in a couple of weeks' time. So all I'd like to say is thank you very much for taking the time to be with us this evening. We're right on 1 hour, so I'm very pleased that we ran to time as well. And the technology worked pretty well today. So thank you very much for coming. When we send you an email, you can obviously click back on it if there's anything else you need to know, or anything else we can help you with. Always happy to come out. No commitment, no requirement. This is an education session, really not a sales session. So if you need anything, just get in touch. Thanks very much. Have a good extended weekend. And we'll talk to you in the future. Thank you very much. Everyone. Bye.